Welcome back to another VeVe video, and today I have a special guest with me, my Collectibles, our newly appointed community manager, and today we're going to be talking about all things Marvel Mighty's Symbiote crafting. How you feeling about this thing, man?
Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Corey, it's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you too, buddy.
For this event. Yeah, I've been waiting for this event for such a long time. And I know that the community's got like a bunch of questions, about the event. And I know there's the blog articles to read, but thank you for inviting me on because, this is great. We can answer some of those questions with you today.
Absolutely. And there's so many moving parts to this thing. There's been 4 releases of Mighties. 2 Mighties from each of those releases. You have the ability to Venomize them, which we're going to talk about, and we're going to go into each one of those sets, which ones you need, how it's going to all pan out. But I definitely wanted you here to chat with me about the process.
Yeah, man, I wanted to ask you. So like I said, people have been asking a ton of questions, right? Based upon the articles we've had, right? And I know new information is coming out like all the time. But can you talk about like the whole event in general, just from the start, just about these Mighty drops? We're getting those characters that people need to pinpoint. So what's happening? What has been happening over the last bunch of times with these 4 drops that we've got?
Well, we've had the 4 drops, like you said. And for those of you viewing who may not be familiar with what a Marvel Mighty is, Marvel Mighties are kind of like cutesy versions of Marvel characters. Here at VeVe, we believe that the Mighties must be protected at all costs. And what better way protect your Mighties than to Venomize them and give them the ability to lay waste if needed. And so, as you said, there's 4 sets that have released, and we're going to pop them on screen right now. And so from the Mighties releases, we've had 4 releases so far. There was Avengers Series 1, X-Men Heroes, Avengers Series 2, and X-Men Villains. And from each one of those sets, 2 of those Mighties are available to be Venomized. And here are the ones that can be Venomized. Avengers Series 1, you've got Falcon and Scarlet Witch, X-Men Heroes, Beast and Storm. Avengers Series 2, Iron Man and Hawkeye, and X-Men Villains, Blob and Magneto.
That is awesome, Corey. So we've seen them, right? And we know this new one's coming out, and Blob and Magneto. So already people in the community have been like looking at the Blob and having a hilarious time about. There's been a lot of and I know that he's one of my favorites, but I have a different one that's actually my favorite. I want to ask you, which one's your favorite actually out of all these?
My favorite is Iron Man. So the cool thing I like about how these are Venomized is that half of the character essentially receives the attributes of the Venomizing process, right? And so I really like in Iron Man that there's that big contrast and what are those called, my collectibles? The repulsor. The thing that allows him to fly. I think it's his repulsor cannons or jets. But I like the different color contrast. It really highlights what the theme is here, and that is that you're Venomizing a character. What's your favorite, man?
Yeah, I actually think it's Iron Man as well. I just love that Mighty itself. Like he's flying there. He's got, the effects and stuff. To see it Venomized is going to be my absolute favorite. So
I'm with you.
I'm actually more excited, about the actual symbiote material itself.
Yes.
The crafting material. I've been dying to see this. Can you show it? Because I want to see this.
Putting it on screen in 3, 2, 1. And yeah, I love how this thing looks. Sort of a static animation. You see the symbiote material swirling around inside of the vial. It's really cool when the crafting material itself looks awesome. So that's kind of like another win for this whole program.
Look at it. I'm sorry, Corey. I can't help myself. It looks too awesome. So now that we've seen the symbiote crafting material, or just the symbiote itself, because it's a collectible on its own, I know I have some questions about how this whole thing is going to work. I know the community does as well, so we've gathered some for sure. So quick question about the Mighties themselves. We'll use Falcon as an example. Mm-hmm. So can you be crafted into any symbiote Mighty? Like if you take the symbiote and give it to one of the ones that are on the list, does it change into any of the others, or is it just that one itself?
It's going to be just the one itself. So as you're selecting which one of the Mighties you want to Venomize, make sure you're selecting, like you said, if you're using Falcon and you want the Falcon Venomized, make sure in your crafting recipe you've got your symbiote material and your Falcon, and then you do your craft.
Yeah, and you can only use it on those ones that are selected, right?
Correct.
The ones that are in each article that are pinpointed for the event, right? You can't do that with any of the other ones at this point.
You got it, unless there's some kind of crazy Easter egg, but no, there's no Easter egg. You did not hear that.
Well, we can dream, right? For sure. Like, so, and also, so after that though, like what happens to the Mighties? Are they burned after you do this kind of thing? Or after you turn them into the Venomized versions using the symbiote material with the combination? What happens to the Mighty after that, the original?
The core Mighty that was used, it doesn't get burned. Your crafting material, so that symbiote material, it does get burned. And then the result is going to be that additional Mighty. So you'll have your,
so you get the original and you get both, like you get the original and the Venomized version.
Correct.
That is awesome.
It is. It's super cool. But it is worth noting that the character that you use to craft, we'll use Falcon because you use that as your example. So you've got your Falcon, you've got your symbiote crafting material, you craft, and then you get your Venomized Falcon. That mint number is not going to be the same as your original Falcon. It's going to be a randomized mint generation still.
Okay, so you get the randomized mint generation. Correct. Okay, that's a really good point to know, actually, because I know a lot of people are going to ask that as well. So can you actually craft with more than once with one of these Mighties? Like, so you have Falcon, because we're using him. Can you do that more than one time and get more Venomized Falcons with the same collectible you have in your collection?
You cannot. So once you do that initial craft, you're not going to be able to use him yourself for crafting. But if you would list him on the secondary market and someone else would purchase that Falcon, we'll use Falcon as our example. If they would purchase that Falcon, then they could use that Falcon for crafting one time, and then they would need to, sell it for another person to craft from it.
So you can't just use one of those Mighties like Falcon and then to get a symbiotes and just ding, ding, ding,
no,
ding,
you can't do it like that.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. But then the other question on the side of that is, so with the symbiote materials right there as well, you said that they get burned, so you can only use it once anyway. So if you want to do more, you have to get another symbiote material. Is that correct?
Correct.
Or you have to get another Falcon. So you have kind of matched each pair up. Is that kind of how it works?
That's exactly how it works. You got it.
You mentioned about how the symbiote gets burned after. So the supply of those is going to go down as every time people do this process.
I think they look so cool. Like I'm gonna want to keep some of those just for myself as sort of decoration. But yeah, you're right. Like those are going to deplete over time because as people use them, they're going to be burned, which is going to reduce the total circulating supply. I can already see, some of the people that do like vault decoration, they're going to be using those and zooming in and putting things within like the swirling mass of symbiote. It's going to create some like really cool effects and videos. I'm excited for it.
That is awesome for sure. But how long can we do this for? Like the whole duration to be able to craft? Is there a cutoff?
As of right now, the crafting is tentatively available for a year, but updates will be released over time. Obviously, we're not just going to surprise, be like crafting's over. We're going to keep everyone aware and we're going to pass that information, which is a big part of what you are doing, my collectibles, and we appreciate you for it so much, bud.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get the information out as it comes, obviously, but so now we have the Venomized, we have the Mighties, okay, specifically the ones that are needed for this event, the crafting thing. Then we've got, the symbiote material, so after all that happens, we craft them. Then we have both our original, like, Falcon, and then we have our Venomized Falcon. What happens next? Because I know there's another stage here with the ones that are actually Venomized to turn them into something else. And I think I already know what those are. But I just want to hear you say it again, Corey.
Of course. And it's super exciting. Like, I'm really excited for it. And so kind of a unique thing with this is everything has been Mighties up to this point, right? Like you've got to get the sets of the Mighties, and then you get your versions that you can Venomize from those sets. But once you have all these Venomized Mighties, here's an important thing that we should add is that all of those Venomized Mighties together are a set. And so set bonuses and things like that will apply towards that.
Just for the Venomized ones
Correct.
together.
All the Venomized ones together are considered a set. And so the next step, once you have all of those Venomized Mighties, is there's two paths. And those two paths are going to lead to not a Mighty, but a premium digital collectible version of Venom or Carnage. And so we'll go over that really quick, and I'll pop it on screen because a graphic is always better than a couple guys' heads talking. And so let's pop that up really quick. There's two crafting paths. One set of Venomized Mighties qualifies collectors to purchase a Venom, and one set of these Venomized Mighties qualifies them to collect a Carnage premium statue. The Carnage path requires the Venomized Scarlet Witch, Falcon, Beast, and Storm, whereas the Venom path requires the Venomized Iron Man, Hawkeye, Blob, and Magneto. And what's awesome about this is those premium digital statues that you'll be getting, you're not going to be burning any of your Venomized Mighties to get it. So you're going to retain that set bonus, which is a really cool thing.
And that was my next question. So you get to keep like all of it, and then you're going to get the premium on top, like the Venom and the Carnage, on top of all the Mighties originals and the Venomized versions of them. And you're going to get the Carnage and the Venom on top. So you're just going to have this like awesome. That was my next question, Corey. That's amazing.
Well, here's a question for you. Like, I can tell you're excited about it, but you're always excited about this stuff, My Collectible. What's the community sentiment around this one?
Actually, it's been really great. Like, I think people have been really starting to get into the Mighties even deeper now. The quality of these ones that have been coming out have been really high, and I think the feedback has been really, really positive on that, especially people, wanting to see these Venomized ones. People have been anticipating them for a long time now. So to see them actually coming forward here, we're going to have them in our collections really soon. I think you're going to get a lot of really great feedback. But yeah, it's been super positive right from the start of the event, and I've been monitoring it pretty closely. There's always things that people talk about that want and stuff like that. And so we're going to, if people do have questions about that kind of stuff, I know we're going to get to that in a sec, but they can, let us know, because the feedback from the community is like 100% key. But it's been really, really quite positive. The Mighties seem to be rising, and I love to see it.
The rise of the Mighties. Do you have some top picks?
Yeah.
What are your, I know you said Iron Man's like your favorite. What about like your final path? Venom, Carnage, both. Do you have a favorite amongst those two characters?
Well, me personally, I'm going for the whole thing. I mean, I've right from the start, I'm going for all of them, right? I really do like how Storm looks. She looks really amazing, actually. That's going to be cool to see how that looks. Iron Man, like I said, just because I love that character. The Blob, I mean, there's something going on with the Blob right now on socials. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff.
He's like a sleeper villain. A lot of people like the Blob. I guess I didn't realize that until it posted on socials, and there's just so many people that are like, Blob's my top 5 villain, one of my top 5 villains. I was like, wow.
Right.
I just wouldn't have guessed it. So cool. Well, with that, we're sort of rounding out the episode. Obviously, stay tuned to our socials for more information about when this is going to release, prices, timelines, and all of that good stuff. My Collectibles, if people have questions, what's the best way for them to ask those and get those answered?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Actually, right under the video in the comments here is probably the best place to start, right? Because if you're watching the video, you can comment below. We're going to read them all for sure. Then, of course, on the blog posts themselves, so those are going to go out on all the socials, X and Instagram and Facebook and everything. Make sure you comment down below those if you have any questions. We're reading all of them. I'm reading all of them. The team is. So we love your feedback there. And then also on Discord, if you're not in the Discord, make sure you get in there, because, that's where a lot of these conversations actually happen in real time. And so right there, the team's reading those, the mods are reading those. So all of this stuff, and this goes for any drop coming up, any release we do, any video we do about this stuff, these are the places you want to go. And make sure you do, because that's how, we get your feedback for sure to the team.
And with that, we're closing out our very first VeVe official dual video together, My Collectibles. Thank you so much for coming on and relaying some of the community questions and concerns that, they all have. I hope we get to do this more in the future, and it should be something that we continue doing, bud.
Thanks so much, Corey.
Until the next video, best of luck out there, and happy collecting.